Thanks for staying with us at STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and my guests today are Stephanie Lesmeyer of Provident Inc. and Blake Margraf of ePharmix. Thank you again for being here. So I want to pick back up and kind of look at the Hope After Suicide Prevention Program, but look at before you were working with ePharmix and kind of after. And I know, Blake, you alluded to sort of some of the data that you've seen in terms of the positive results, but tell me about how the program worked maybe before and how this sort of brings in efficiency and volume and that in ways that it didn't before.
Sure. So in the past, we used to call clients once a week, or if they left us a message, we could call them more times a week. And in between calls, it was really up to the client to call the crisis line when they needed help. And a lot of people really have trouble doing that. So ePharmix helps with that, in that they give a very non-judgmental way for a person to say, yes, I am having thoughts of suicide, and to have that received, and to connect them with help immediately without having a person having to be there as an interface.
And I think, too, you hear so much more that in healthcare and just in general, where people want data, they want to know the actual real numerical, quantitative results of the efforts that you're doing, and not to say that you can't before, but this is one way that does it. Now, tell me, this is a pilot program, right? You've been working with Provident for a year, but this could potentially go on to other cities, other markets, and other agencies really across the country.
Certainly, and ideally even beyond mental health. I think mental health is one of the most underappreciated chronic and widespread conditions, or category of conditions. But ePharmix covers 23 different disease states, from diabetes and COPD and heart failure to postpartum depression and substance use, right? And we're in states across the country. And looking as well at I think where we're on the same team and figuring this out, is how do we continue to ensure that we're creating the lowest common technological denominator, right? So what's non-exclusionary, text messages, and of course making sure that those are free to patients, and as Stephanie said, that they come across as not judgmental, and of course then getting fancy on the technology side to make sure that they are tailored to every individual member. So
yeah, and when on the ePharmix side, did you work in partnership with Provident when you're thinking about what language to use for the text messages to check in with patients and members? How did that work? So that give and take, or is this the appropriate language to use?
Exactly. I think it's been an ongoing and highly collaborative relationship.
Well, let's kind of take a step back and really talk about suicide, which is something that's horrific for obviously all involved, and it's still something we grapple with and deal with, not just for teens and adults. So why this program? Why this? Let's talk about that from your perspective.
Yeah. So suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in Missouri. We know that one person dies by suicide in Missouri every 8.5 hours, and unfortunately, this problem isn't getting better; it's getting worse. Rates rose 3.4% from 2014 to 2015, and they just keep rising. So we really need to do something to combat that. And we also know that when a person is hospitalized after they're released, if they don't have any services, they're at more risk for dying, not less. So Hope After is really there to be a buffer to that risk and to connect people and to help people know they have someone that cares about them, so that they can feel connected to the world.
And when you've seen the increase, what have mental health professionals correlated that with, or have they? Is there an explanation for it? Is it connected to misdiagnosis? Do we know what that's connected to?
We don't have an answer. One perspective is that we've been so focused on preventing suicide on the individual basis that we're not really looking at it as a public health issue, which we need to. We know more people die from suicide in Missouri than AIDS, homicide, and deaths by accidents combined. So it's something we really need to work on.
And so this is, hopefully, this program is going to help diminish that. And where do you see it going? I mean, it's the first year. Where would you like to see it, especially as technology develops? I understand that text messages are, again, sort of the baseline, right, of how we were going to communicate, but where do you see it going?
Absolutely. I think it's as much how does this align with changes in the healthcare system as a whole, as it is the technology. So the entire industry is shifting to value-based care. I think that's why Provident, and having been around for over a century, you've seen this longer than just about everybody else. But finally, it's the outcomes of the patients, not how many times they can be touched by a part of the system, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting. That's really exciting. Well, the information's there for you on the screen. If you want to reach out to Provident, please, or if you know someone who is in crisis and in need, give them the number, the hotline number, which is right there on your screen, or learn more about the program through providentstl.org, the website. Also, ePharmix, see some of the work that they're doing. Really, very breaking, work that you're doing. So
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's at ePharmix.com. And thank you both again for being here, and thank you for your time, and good luck with with the next phase of the project.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Sarah.
much.
All right. Well, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.